Good evening. I am Talisha Robinson, student at Grand Canyon University. The discussion we're about to have is for Business Communications through Study.com. Today is January 28th, 2022. Today we want to discuss diversity and how it's going to benefit our organization. As we know, we are always going to have to work with people who don't look like us, who don't think like us, and doesn't have the same background as us. When I say we don't have the same background, meaning we don't have the same values, we don't have the same opportunities, we don't have the same incomes. Hey, we might even have the same level of education, but we are together. And because we are together and we have different experiences, those experiences make up who we are. And those experiences help us get to know one another, and they're going to benefit us as a whole. There's several different types of diversity. Those diversities include LGBT, religion, political background, political thought, family upbringing, race, complexion, ethnicity, nationality, and the list goes on. We may belong to the same group. However, there's a such thing as called subgroups. Subgroups is when you belong to the same major group, but then there's some differences amongst you once again. For instance, we all may be American. However, there are so many differences in American people. We all may be African American. However, there's going to be a lot of differences in us. Another type of difference that stands out greatly is gender, the difference between men and women. Now, you must say, you can immediately think of some differences between men and women, male and female. However, that depends on what culture you're part of. If you are in Eastern countries or Western countries, there may be some difference. There may be some differences in power, equality. So you may have to understand both of those to understand diversity in male and female. Just as I said, there's going to be a lot of subcultures that's going to make us different. The best thing that happens is when we can bring these people together and get to understand each other's ideas. And how do we do that? That's by having openness and understanding. That's when we don't try to change one another, but just learn to accept one another, whether we think it's wrong or something that matches our own values. But just because you're going to accept someone else's values, don't hold back in letting them know what you think too so they can appreciate your ideas. However, the important thing is not to try and change someone. Because one, it's not our place, and two, we all want to be able to work together and feel accepted. There's going to be some differences in sexual orientation. This is something when you understand LGBT rights and how they work in our workplace. You might want to observe some of the LGBT communities, think differently of them. You may try to be skeptical. However, we want to stop being prejudiced and start thinking about how we can accommodate those people and make them feel welcome in our workplace. There are going to be some different religious beliefs. Some of those religious beliefs may help you guide your thinking, and some of those thinkings you may say, they don't necessarily align with what I believe. But again, we're going to make sure that we understand the other person's belief, that way we don't say the wrong thing, we don't make them feel uncomfortable, or make a statement that we all know about. It's called assassinating. Make assassinating statements. So, the best benefit is, how do we bring diversity into our workplace? Diversity has been thrown around for years, but does it seem to really help anyone? What about such things as affirmative action? How do we feel about affirmative action? How do we feel about being inclusive? Does it violate merit? Does it make other people understand how we incorporate our world? I think it is a great benefit when we incorporate our world with differences, make everybody feel welcome, and appreciate those new ideas so no one feels shut out. Because as we know, this is a melting pot. America is a melting pot, and so is other countries around the world as we become more integrated on a global scale. Now, I've discussed with you what diversity is and how we're going to use it for our best benefit and how we're going to grow our economies, both domestic and international affairs. I like to think of diversity as a way of bridging across economic boundaries, religious boundaries, sexual orientation boundaries, as well as national boundaries. That will conclude this video today. And again, my name is Talisha Robinson, a student at Grand Canyon University, and this video is a project that I'm submitting for business communications. Thank you.